She didn't want us showing off, said Ron sagely. Doesn't want people to think it's clever, arriving by flying car. When they had eaten as many sandwiches as they could, the plate kept refilling itself. They rose and left the office, treading the familiar path to the Dumbledore Tower. The castle was quiet. It seemed that the feast was over. They walked past muttering portraits and creaking suits of armor, and climbed through narrow flights of stone stairs, until at last they reached a passage where the secret entrance to the Gryffindor Tower was hidden behind an oil painting of a very fat woman in a pink silk dress. "Password," she said as they approached. Said Harry. They didn't know the New Year's password, not having met a Gryffindor prefect yet, but help came almost immediately. They heard hurrying feet dash towards them, turned to see Hermione dashing towards them. "There you are! Where have you been? The most ridiculous rumors. Someone said you'd been expelled for crashing a flying car." "Well, we haven't been expelled," Harry assured her. "You're not telling me you did fly here," said Hermione, sounding almost as severe as Professor McGonagall. "Skip the lecture," said Ron impatiently, "and tell us the new password." "It's Wattlebird," said Hermione impatiently, "but that's not the point." Her words were cut short, however, as the portrait of the fat lady swung open, and there was a sudden storm of clapping. It looked as though the whole Gryffindor house was still awake, packed into the circular common room, standing on the lopsided tables and squashing armchairs, waiting for them to arrive. Arms reached through the portrait hole to pull Harry and Ron inside, leaving Hermione to scramble in after them. "Brilliant! Brilliant!" yelled Lee Jordan. "Inspired! What an entrance! Flying a car right into the Whomping Willow. People will talk about that one for years." "Good for you," said a fifth year Harry had never spoken to. Someone was patting him on the back as though he had just won a marathon. Fred and George pushed their way to the front of the crowd and said together, "Why couldn't we have come in the car, eh?" "Why couldn't we have come in the car, eh?" Ron was scarlet in the face, grinning embarrassedly, but Harry could see one person who didn't look happy at all. Percy was visible over the heads of some excited first years, and he seemed to be trying to get near enough to start telling them off. Harry nudged Ron in the ribs and nodded at Percy's direction. Ron got the point at once. Got to get upstairs. Bit tired," he said to the two, and the two of them started pushing their way towards the door on the other side of the room, which led to the spiral staircase and the dormitories. "Night," Harry called back to Hermione, who was wearing a scowl just like Percy's. They managed to get to the other side of the common room, still having their backs slapped, and gained the piece of the staircase. They hurried up it right to the top, and at last reached the door to their old dormitory, which now had a sign on it saying second years. They entered the familiar circular room with its five four-poster posters hung with red velvet and its high, narrow windows. Their trunks had been brought up for them and stood at the ends of their bed. Ron grinned guiltily at Harry. "I know I shouldn't have enjoyed that or anything, but..." The dormitory door flew open, and in came other second-year Gryffindor boys. Severus Finnegan, Dean Thomas, and Neville Longbottom. "Unbelievable!" beamed Seamus. Cool, said Dean. "Amazing," said Neville, awestruck. Harry couldn't help it. He grinned too. Okay, what time is it? 6:24. Okay, that ends the end of our session, or I was gonna say session like it's therapy or something. That ends the end of our reading. I'll get back to you on today's Tuesday. Thursday then. Thursday at 5 o'clock. So look forward to that. And see you next time.